Well, I'm sure a lot of people have focused on the Cardinals and how poorly they've performed this season as the biggest story overall. But again, I'm a D-backs guy, and the biggest story for me was the D-backs trading away their face of the franchise, the best player arguably that they've ever had, Paul Goldschmidt. I never thought they would deal Paul Goldschmidt, and yet here we are without Paul Goldschmidt at the end of 2018. So that's what stands out to me as the biggest story in sports this year.
Biggest sports story of 2018. There's two of them. It's a tie. It's a dead heat. It is the Cardinals on draft night moving up to get Josh Rosen, their hopeful franchise quarterback of the future. And it's the Suns winning the draft lottery and with the number one pick selecting DeAndre Ayton and hopefully getting it right and not taking Luka Doncic, but getting the number one pick for them. That and Rosen were the two top stories of 2018.
I don't think this is because it's recent. The biggest news story to me of 2018 is that Paul Goldschmidt is no longer a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yes, we had all of 2018 to watch him, but he officially got traded in December of 2018, and he's gone. There's nothing bigger than that.
I think the biggest Arizona sports story of 2018 has to be not necessarily the on the field, on the court, on the ice, on the grass, is that what I say for baseball anyway, product, because of course it's been a terrible year in that regard. But looking at the draft, specifically the Arizona Cardinals select Josh Rosen, who could be their franchise quarterback this year. So we're looking at this year, 5 years down the line. The Cardinals get their franchise quarterback, perhaps the Suns get their franchise center. Of course, the first time they've ever had the number one overall pick, selecting DeAndre Ayton. These two guys could wind up really being some of the biggest Arizona sports stars we've ever seen, and they're both selected in the same year, so I'll go with that.
The biggest Arizona sports story of 2018, for me, it's an easy choice, and it's when the Cardinals traded up to draft Josh Rosen. There was so much optimism around that moment. I remember everyone being so excited and just so happy that the Cardinals got what people believed to be the quarterback of the future. Obviously, the Cardinals season hasn't gone the way that everyone hoped, but to me, that's the moment that stands out for me this year.
The biggest Arizona sports story of 2018, I would have to say, would be the collapse of the Arizona Cardinals and the season that they've had and the possibility of what may lay ahead for Steve Wilks and his staff, for Steve Keim and his staff, for the color analyst for the Arizona Cardinals, and my staff. All bets are off at this point in time, and I think that will prove to be the biggest story of 2018.
Biggest sports story of 2018, there was a lot in Phoenix, certainly, but I'm going to go with the Herm Edwards story. It started in late 2017 when ASU shocked everybody by handing this ESPN studio analyst the keys to their football program, and I was a naysayer. I was pretty loud about it. As the year went on, the amount of attention ASU football got on a national scale was unlike anything I've seen in my 40 years of watching this program. So the development from that to actually putting a respectable product on the field, now the momentum in recruiting. I think that's been a year-long story, and I think it was the biggest story all told about the Phoenix sports scene in 2018.